Hello dear students, we are going to take a quick look at the summary and major incidents in the story A Day in the Country. The story is penned by Anton Chekhov, the Russian writer. Anton Chekhov has written several plays and short stories in his life. The Seagull, Uncle Vanya, Three Sisters, and The Cherry Orchard are his popular play. The most read short stories by Anton Chekhov are The Lady with the Dog, Ward Number 6, The Bet, and The Darling. See, Anton Chekhov, he often focuses on mundane aspects of life. Mundane aspects means earthly life, the real happenings of life. And he highlights the struggles and trivialities of his characters. He portrays the real life in front of the reader. It is not of fantasy, it is not of realism, but reality is being portrayed by Anton Chekhov. But you know, during his lifetime, he didn't win any awards, but his work has been extensively praised posthumously. Posthumously means after death. And you know, still, not only the Russian writers, but the writers around the globe, they praise his work and studies his work. Now, the key characters in the story, A Day in the Country. There are four major characters in this short story. They are Terenti, the wise cobbler. You know who is a cobbler. Danilka and Fyukla, they are siblings. They are brother and sister. Danilka is 8 years old and Fyukla is just 6 years old, and they are orphans. Silenti Silich is a friend of Terenti who is a sacristan. Sacristan means he takes care of the holy objects in a church. പള്ളിയിലെ വസ്തുക്കളൊക്കെ സൂക്ഷിക്കുന്ന അതിന്റെ കാവൽക്കാരനാണ് ഹൂ സിലന്റി സിലച്ച്. Okay. Now, when the story starts, the beggar girl, the orphan girl, Fyokla, she runs to find Terenti the cobbler. What happened? What is the problem? Fyokla is in search of Terenti on a dark, stormy day. It was daytime and she is looking for the cobbler. What happened? Fyokla's brother Danilka is trapped. He got his hand trapped in a hole on a tree. What happened to his hands? It got trapped in a hole. What was he doing inside the hole? He was trying to get the cuckoo's egg. ചെറിയ കുട്ടികളായിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ വികൃതി കാണിക്കില്ലേ, അവന്റെ കയ്യെ ഒരു മരത്തിന്റെ പോട്ടില്, this is not the apt picture but still his hand got stuck, so he is not able to pull out his hand, and now Fyokla is seeking the help of Terenti. Fyokla finds Terenti and informs him about Danilka's accident. Terenti rushes to help despite the storm. Even though storm was about to hit the country, Terenti goes and frees Danilka's hand. So this is how the story begins. But you know, while they were walking from the forest, out of the forest, they exchange several questions. The children, Danilka and Fyokla, they ask several questions to Terenti the cobbler. Terenti is a very ordinary man, but at the same time, he knows very much about the nature and how things in the nature takes place. For example, the kids ask what makes it thunder. So he answers that one cloud runs against the other. Being science students, you might be knowing how thunder takes place, how it rains. But Being an uneducated man, Terenti knows all these facts. Now, another question asked by them was, why should not we disturb a nightingale's nest? When they were walking, they saw nightingale's nest, and Terenti was warning them not to touch a nightingale's nest, because he says that nightingale is a singing bird. It is without sin and given a voice to praise God and gladden the heart of man. That means nightingale is very innocent. It sings songs to please people and also it praises God. So we should be kind to the nightingale. But at the same time, Terendi has a different opinion for sparrows. What did he say about sparrow? He says sparrow is bad, spiteful. It is very cunning, like pickpocketer. You know who is a pickpocketer? Hmm? One who steals purse from our pocket, money from our pocket. So sparrow is not as good as the nightingale. Why? Because when Christ was crucified, Jesus Christ, he was nailed to the cross by the Jew, nailed. During that time, Terenti says that sparrows were flying around Jesus Christ and they were celebrating his crucifixion. കുരിശിലേറ്റ കുരിശിലേറ്റുന്ന സമയത്ത് സ്പാരോസ് സെഡ് ലൗഡ്ലി അലൈവ് അലൈവ്, അതായത് ജീവനോടെ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ആണി അടിക്കാൻ ആര് പറഞ്ഞു ഇത്രേ? സ്പാരോസ് പറഞ്ഞു is what Terenti is saying. So Terenti knows what is happening in the nature. Terenti knows what has happened in the Bible. That shows the wisdom that a very layman like Terenti acquires. And what makes the train move? They find a train moving and spitting the steam out. So Terenti was giving them the explanation that it moves under the thing near the wheels and it works. How the wheel moves? It is because of the steam. So even though he doesn't know the scientific interpretations or definitions, Terenti knows every all the questions that the boy and the girl asked, Terenti was able to answer. You can see the picture of sparrows here. Yeah. Another beautiful conversation between Terenti and the students, and the children during their walk was about ants. Ants. They came across an ant hill, a small heap of sand. Manal puttu kanile. So an ant hill burst open by rain. They have been flooded. So he says that when it rains, all these ants come out. They bent over the ant heap. The children and Terenti, they bent over the ant heap. The downpour has damaged it. The insects are scurrying to and fro in the mud, agitated, disturbed. They don't know what happened. They are moving out and busying, trying to carry away their drowned companions. When natural calamities occur, people help people. Same way here, those ants who struggle for life, they were helped by their companions. Now Terenti is telling these ants, you need not be in such a taking. You won't die of it. Don't worry, ants. You will not die. Terenti, grinning, he laughs and says, as soon as the sun warms you, you will come back to your senses again. That means ants cannot be killed that easily by water. It will come back to life as soon as the sun warms you. As soon as it is bright, you will be back to health. That means life. It is a lesson to you, you stupids. You won't settle on low ground another time. That means കുറുമ്പ് പിടിച്ച് പറയില്ലേ നമ്മള്, നിങ്ങളുടെ ഓട്ടം കണ്ടാൽ നിങ്ങൾ എന്തോ ഭയങ്കര തിരക്കുള്ള പോലെയാ തോന്നും, ഉറുമ്പുകളോട് പറയുകയാണ്. ബട്ട് യു വിൽ സെറ്റിൽ ഡൗൺ. ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ മഴ പെയ്താലേ നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുള്ളൂ? മിണ്ടാതിരിക്കുള്ളൂ. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് Terenti is not only close to the human beings on the earth, but also the animals and the insects and even birds on the earth. Bees, another group of insects, they come up, they saw were the bees. Here are some bees, cries Danilka, pointing to the branch of a young oak tree. The drenched and chilled bees are huddled together on the branch. Drenched, nananya, chilled. മഴ പെയ്യുമ്പോൾ they are so chilled and they are huddled together. Huddled means ഇങ്ങനെ അള്ളിപ്പിടിച്ച് പറ്റിപ്പിടിച്ചിരിക്കുകയാണ്. There are so many of them that neither bark nor leaf can be seen. അതായത് അകത്തും പുറത്തും അല്ലാതെ കുറേയേറെ തേനീച്ചകൾ ഉണ്ടാവും. Many of them are settled on one another. ഒന്നിന്റെ മീതെയാണ് ഒരെണ്ണം ഇരിക്കുന്നത്. That is a swarm of bees. Terenti informs them. They are called swarm of bees. കൂട്ടമാണ്. They were flying looking for a home, and when the rain came down upon them, they settled. If a swarm is flying, you need only sprinkle water on them to make them settle. അതായത് ഒരു കൂട്ടം തേനീച്ചകൾ പറക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ only thing you have to do is you have to sprinkle water on them. They will settle. ഉറുമ്പുകൾ എങ്ങനെയാ? വെള്ളം ഒഴിക്കുമ്പോഴേക്കും they move away. But in the case of bees, when you pour water, they settle down. To collect them, then the branch into a sack and shape. തേനീച്ചകളെ പിടിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള നല്ല സമയം എപ്പോഴാണ്? When it is raining. You shall not try, okay? What to do? You have to bend the branch and shake it in a sack. ഒരു ചാക്കിലേക്ക് ഒന്ന് കുടഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ you will be able to collect bees. These are all the experience shared by Terenti during their walk across the forest. Now the story ends. You know, the story began when the girl ran to Cobbler Terenti, and Terenti came for their help. He rescued the boy from the forest. The forest hand got stuck inside the hole. Terenti, he uses an axe and makes the hole larger and helps the boy take his hand out. They walk across the forest. Through the forest, they share lots of things, and finally they reach the place beneath the tree, and Terenti gives them bread, food, etc. The story shows the bond between the children and Terenti. Terenti's wisdom and kindness shine through his actions and explanations about nature. Despite his hardships, Terenti demonstrates love, care, especially for the orphaned children. That means it shows the humanitarian concern, how Terenti follows human values in his life. These are the key themes you have to keep in mind while going through this story. Compassion and kindness. Terenti helping Fiocla and Danilka during the storm. Then he leaves bread for the children. Knowledge and education is another theme. Terenti, though he is not educated, he has not gone to school, he knows nature and he teaches children. He gives informal education to children. He connects nature with the reader and the children. Another key point is mentorship and guidance. Sorry. Mentorship. Terenti is like a father figure for the children. He provides practical and moral support. He talks about survival. He talks about how nature and natural objects, they survive in the climate, in the bad weather. He also shows generosity. Generosity means kindness. How small acts, thoughtful gestures shows he is very kind to the people and the world around him. He observes a lot. He observes nature and learns many things. So this is how the story talks about these key themes. Thank you so much for your patient watching.